So one of the questions that I get asked fairly often is, John, what are the critical aspects to business success? And whilst you can't put it down to a single one of the things that I find fairly common and consistent with businesses across the country is, and maybe you're the same, but it's about you start your business for today instead of starting your business for what it needs to look like in 10 years' time. Most businesses start because either they fall out with their previous manager or previous business owner, or they wake up one day and they know that you can offer something better to the world. One of the things that I always talk to with our clients across the country is focus on what your business needs to look like in 10, 15, 20 years time, not what it needs to look like for today. If you think about it, we view building businesses exactly the same as house builders view building homes. Now, if we were going to build a home together, where's the place we would start? Now, already you've got foundations running through your mind. But if you really think about it, if we were going to build a house together, we wouldn't start with the foundations at all. In fact, we'd start with a detailed plan of what it's going to look like when it's finished. Now, think about this in regards to your business. When you started your business, did you sit down and map out what this business needs to look like in the next 10, 15, 20, even 50, 100 years in the future? Or did you work out what needs to happen in the next 2-3 weeks for this to still be a successful business for you? So if you are gonna, or you're considering running your own business, or you do own your own business, consider what your business needs to look like here, not just here. Focus on what are the motivating factors for you. What finances does it need to look like? How many offices will you have? How many employees will you have? How many people's lives will you have changed? And everything that you do every single day should be geared towards that success. So here are the 4 key elements that you're really looking for when you're describing what your business needs to look like long term instead of short term. So focus on 10 years in advance. Most people find it difficult to focus anything more than 10 years because that's normally the life cycle of a business. So focus on 10 years in the future. What does this business need to look like in 10 years? How many hours will you be working? Like we said a little bit earlier on, how many people will you employ? How many lives will you have changed? What services and products are you providing and who are you providing them to? How many outlets will you have? What's your role in the business? Will you have exited the business, and so on? The more descriptive you can be here, the better chance you've got of getting it. If you think about it, if you have a map, a sat nav and road signs, your chances of getting to the end destination have just increased dramatically. If you take the road signs down, it's a little bit difficult. If you take the sat nav away, it becomes even more difficult. And if you take all 3 elements away, the likelihood of you achieving your destination is highly unlikely. So describe what it needs to be like in 10 years' time. Really, what does it need to look like? Only focus on that objective. See, most people will focus on short-term goals without understanding what their long-term objective is. And by the time they get in 10 years' time, they turn back and look at their business and think, what even is this that I've created? Am I still excited by it? Once you decide what it is that you want this business to look like, you can focus on that, and everything that you do is about molding and guiding this business to be around it. Often when I do this with business owners, they ask me this question, well, what if I change my mind? Well, that's okay. It's okay if you're in your car and the weather gets a little bit daunting and you decide to change your destination, that's okay. But review it annually. You know, is this something that I still want? Is this something that I still want to go for, or do I need to change and mend my course? Now you've got some long-term objectives, it's really critical that you focus on short-term plans. The first part that we were talking about is having long-term goals. So what does it need to look like when it's finished? Now you can really backtrack that. So if you've decided that you want a £10 million business in 10 years' time, what does it need to look like at end of year 1? So what would make that a happy place for you to be? Well, some would say 10% of the way there. So get to £1 million at the end of year 1. Break that into 4 quarters, okay? So the first quarter is 250,000 in sales. And you can literally break that down into what are the tasks, what are the objectives that I need to do this week to achieve my long-term goal. As we said earlier on, that allows you to focus on the long-term objective, but actually put the short-term plans into place which will get that growth that you want. Once you've got that, it's really important that you review this regularly. So there's no point in getting to the end of quarter one and realizing that you've failed. Make sure that you're reviewing that in a management meeting. If it's just you, sit in a room on your own and literally go through those numbers every single week. Are we on course? Do we need to change direction? Do we need to increase activity? Do we need to change marketing strategy, tact for recruitment, or whatever it will be? But review it every single week. Again, that increases your chances of likelihood of success dramatically. Also, whilst you've got these short-term plans, focus on what are the key performance indicators for me to achieve this goal. Is it going to be sales? Is it going to be profit? Is it going to be recruitment? And what those benchmarks are. Again, they will change every single quarter, or they'll grow or decline every single quarter, depending on where you are with your plan. But make sure that you've got at least 4 or 5 KPIs that you need to focus on every single week. That will give you more focus, give you more clarity, and more opportunity for success. I hope this video has been useful and you can implement at least some of it into your business to get you that 1% extra that you need. Thanks for watching.